Major Weather Script, January 6, 2026 Sky Alert USA Complete Weather Report Main Script, 1650 plus words. Breaking. Arctic siege continues as multiple weather threats target North America, catastrophic winter storm and cross-country system on the horizon. Good evening, this is Sky Alert USA bringing you critical weather updates for Tuesday, January 6, 2026. We are tracking several significant weather events across the United States and Canada that demand your immediate attention. From the ongoing Arctic blast gripping the eastern two-thirds of the continent to the development of a major cross-country storm system, and catastrophic lake-effect snow-burying communities in record amounts, this is one of the most active and dangerous weather patterns we've seen this winter season. Today's critical weather situation. As we begin this first full week of 2026, North America finds itself under siege from a disrupted polar vortex that has fundamentally altered our winter weather pattern. A massive stratospheric warming event detected in mid-January has caused the polar vortex to split and stretch, creating what meteorologists are calling a polar express pattern that is channeling Arctic air masses directly from northern Canada into the heart of the United States. Right now, temperatures across southern and eastern Canada remain dangerously cold, with the frigid air corridor extending deep into the northern and eastern United States. The Midwest is experiencing some of the coldest conditions of the season, with temperatures running 20 to 30 degrees below normal. Cities from Minneapolis to Chicago, Detroit to Cleveland are struggling with single-digit and sub-zero readings, while dangerous wind chills are making it feel even colder, creating life-threatening conditions for anyone spending extended time outdoors. Environment Canada has issued a special weather statement for Toronto and much of southern Ontario, warning of several hours of freezing rain beginning Tuesday morning and continuing through the afternoon. Between 1 to 2 millimeters of ice accretion is possible, creating treacherous conditions on roads and walkways. The freezing rain may mix with snow or ice pellets at times before temperatures rise above freezing and precipitation transitions to rain. Local utility outages are possible due to ice accumulation on power lines and tree branches. Record-breaking lake-effect snow catastrophe. One of the most extreme weather events currently unfolding is the absolutely catastrophic lake-effect snow event hammering Oswego County in upstate New York. In what forecasters are calling absolutely nuclear conditions, some areas have been pounded with 4 feet of snow in just 24 hours, with total accumulations reaching a staggering 48 inches. This is not just impressive, it's life-threatening and infrastructure crippling. Winter storm warnings remain in effect for multiple counties across New York, including Wayne, Cayuga, Oswego, Jefferson, and Lewis counties through early Saturday. Oswego County and parts of Wayne County could see up to 3 feet of total snow accumulation, while Wyoming, Chautauqua, Cattaraugus, and southern Erie counties may receive over a foot of additional snow, with the greatest accumulations along the Lake Erie shore, Boston Hills, and Chautauqua Ridge. Travel in the most persistent snow bands has become almost impossible, with near-zero visibility and deep snow cover making even emergency response extremely difficult. The lake-effect snow is being driven by Arctic air moving across the relatively warm waters of Lakes Erie and Ontario, creating a dramatic temperature contrast that fuels these intense snow bands. The pattern will continue through Saturday morning as the Arctic air mass maintains its grip on the region. The polar vortex connection. To understand why this weather pattern is so extreme and persistent, we need to look up, way up into the stratosphere. The polar vortex, which normally acts as a keeper of Arctic cold air locked over the polar regions, has undergone a significant disruption. A stratospheric warming event has been confirmed for mid-January, with temperatures in the mid-stratosphere near 20 to 30 degrees Celsius above normal over the polar regions. This warming has caused the polar vortex to become highly disrupted and deformed, with a cold core being pushed toward the United States and Canada. The European Centre for Medium-Range Weather Forecasts shows a stable cold air corridor from southern Canada down into the northern, central, and eastern United States that is forecast to persist through much of January. This isn't a brief cold snap, this is a pattern change that could last weeks. The Canadian Long-Range Model, which was just updated, shows continued cold air support over western Canada and the northern and central United States extending even into February 2026. This gives meteorologists high confidence that winter is far from over, and in fact, January may prove to be one of the most active and coldest months of the entire season. California flooding crisis continues. While the eastern half of the continent battles extreme cold and snow, the west coast faces its own set of dangerous conditions. Southern California experienced a wet start to 2026, with San Diego recording over 2.46 inches of rain, ranking among the 15 rainiest days on record. Street flooding was reported across the region, with vehicles stranded and dangerous driving conditions prevailing. A major atmospheric river is currently targeting Northern California, bringing the highest flooding risk and travel disruptions to the region. A flood watch and winter storm warning are in effect through Monday as this powerful system delivers wave after wave of heavy precipitation. Northern and central California could see a general 2 to 4 inches of rain, with locally higher amounts possible. Along the lower, west-facing slopes of the northern Sierra Nevada, 4 to 8 inches of rain is forecast, with a local maximum of 12 inches possible in the most exposed locations. The Sierra Nevada mountains are being hammered by heavy snow at higher elevations, with 1 to 3 feet of snow expected above 7,000 feet, and up to 4 feet on the highest peaks. The National Weather Service has warned that travel may be extremely difficult to impossible, especially on mountain passes such as Donner Pass. Snow levels will drop from 7,500 feet on Saturday to around 4,500 feet by Monday, expanding the areas seeing snow accumulation. 3-day forecast, cross-country storm system developing. Looking ahead to the next 72 hours, we are tracking the development of the first major cross-country storm of 2026, and this system has the potential to impact virtually every region of the country from the southwest to the northeast. Wednesday, January 7th. The storm will begin to organize over the southwest as a cutoff area of low pressure, currently stalled over the Pacific, gets picked up by the jet stream and moves into the Rockies. Stormy conditions will break out across the region, with up to an inch of rain across much of the southern plains. Meanwhile, snow will be possible across New Mexico, Colorado, and north into Minnesota. The more cold air that can infiltrate south from Canada, the greater the snow potential across the upper Midwest. The Arctic air mass will maintain its grip on the Northeast and Great Lakes, with continued cold temperatures and additional lake effect snow bands. Thursday, January 8th, this is when the storm system really begins to ramp up. As it tracks east, a widespread area of rain will cover much of the Midwest beginning Thursday afternoon. A low-end flash flood threat will develop over parts of Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana, before shifting over Kentucky and Tennessee on Friday. The cold air will begin to moderate slightly across the Northeast, but dangerous travel conditions will continue across the Great Lakes due to blowing snow and poor visibility. Friday, January 9th, severe weather outbreak. This is the day we are most concerned about. As the storm system continues tracking east, a cold front will move ahead of the main area of low pressure into the deep south, creating the potential for the first significant severe weather outbreak of 2026. The main threat area will be centered across the lower Mississippi and Tennessee valleys, including parts of southern Illinois, southeastern Missouri, southwestern Kentucky, West Tennessee, Arkansas, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Alabama. The Storm Prediction Center has highlighted this region for a 15% severe weather probability, meaning storms that develop could be capable of generating damaging wind gusts, large hail, and possibly tornadoes. All modes of severe weather are possible, and residents in these areas should have multiple ways to receive warnings and be prepared to take shelter quickly if warnings are issued for their location. Meanwhile, the cold front will lift into the northeast late Friday through Saturday, bringing showers and thunderstorms to that region as well. States such as Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, and Maine can expect heavy rain through Saturday, with several inches of precipitation possible. The weekend, system exits, cold reinforces. By Saturday and Sunday, the storm system will dissipate across the Great Lakes and Northeast, but it won't be quiet. Gusty winds and blowing snow are possible in the Great Lakes region as cold air wraps around behind the departing low-pressure system. This will create dangerous travel conditions with reduced visibility and drifting snow, even though active precipitation may be ending. The final phase of this storm will bring the potential for significant snow to the Great Lakes and interior Northeast, though exact amounts remain uncertain at this time. What is certain is that another reinforcing shot of cold air will sweep in behind the system, ensuring that winter maintains its grip on the eastern two-thirds of the country. Second half of January, extended cold pattern. Looking beyond this 3-day period, the extended forecast shows no quick end to the cold pattern. The second half of January carries the greatest risk for additional winter weather events, particularly across Canada, the northern plains, the Great Lakes, and the Northeast. The stratospheric warming event that disrupted the polar vortex typically leads to cold air release that can last well into early February. Weather models show continued cold air anomalies across western Canada, which serves as the source region for Arctic air masses. This cold air is forecast to repeatedly spill into the northern United States, the Midwest, and the eastern United States through the remainder of the month. Multiple storm systems are likely as the pattern remains active, with the potential for significant winter storms developing along the boundary between the Arctic air and milder air attempting to push north from the Gulf of Mexico and Atlantic. January 2026 is shaping up to be a high-risk winter month across the United States and Canada. The combination of readily available Arctic air, an amplified jet stream pattern, and the emerging stratospheric warming event increases the risk of high-impact winter weather events. This is exactly the type of pattern that historically produces major winter storms, dangerous ice events, and prolonged periods of extreme cold. Catastrophic weather warnings and impacts. Current warnings in effect paint a picture of a continent under winter siege. Winter storm warnings cover portions of 4 states, with some areas expecting up to 4 feet of snow and winds gusting over 100 miles per hour in exposed mountain locations. The combination of heavy snow and extreme winds creates life-threatening conditions, with the National Weather Service urging people to delay all travel if possible. The lake effect snow bands affecting the Great Lakes region are producing snowfall rates of 2 to 3 inches per hour in the most intense bands, with visibility dropping to near zero. These are the types of conditions that create multi-vehicle pileups and strand motorists, making travel not just difficult but extremely dangerous. Flooding concerns in California have prompted evacuation warnings in some areas, with mudslides possible on burn scars from recent wildfires. The atmospheric river pattern will continue to direct moisture into the west coast, with additional storms possible through mid-January. The extreme cold affecting the central and eastern portions of the continent is not just uncomfortable, it's dangerous. Wind chills in some areas are dropping to 20 to 30 degrees below zero, creating conditions where frostbite can occur on exposed skin in just minutes. Hypothermia becomes a real risk for anyone stranded or without adequate shelter and heating. Travel and daily life impacts. If you have travel plans this week, you need to be flexible and prepared for significant disruptions. Multiple interstates and highways are experiencing closures or extreme delays due to snow and ice. Chain controls are in effect over Sierra Mountain passes, and similar restrictions are likely in other mountain regions. Airlines are already reporting delays and cancellations, particularly at hub airports in the Midwest and Northeast. The upcoming storm system will likely cause additional air travel chaos from Thursday through Saturday as it moves across the country. For those at home, now is the time to ensure you have emergency supplies, including food, water, flashlights, and battery-powered or hand-crank radios. Power outages are possible due to ice accumulation, strong winds, and heavy snow loading on power lines and tree branches. Make sure you have adequate heating fuel and that your heating system is working properly. Looking ahead, no quick warm-up in sight. Unfortunately for those tired of winter weather, the pattern shows no signs of breaking down anytime soon. The combination of the stratospheric warming event, the disrupted polar vortex, and fading La Niña conditions creates a perfect setup for sustained winter weather across much of North America through at least the end of January. Climate models show the temperature pattern persisting, with below-normal temperatures likely across Canada and the northern and eastern United States. Above-normal precipitation is forecast for much of the West Coast and the Great Lakes region, meaning additional storms and heavy snow are likely. This is the type of weather pattern that writes itself into the record books. We've already seen record-breaking lake-effect snow, extreme flooding, and dangerous cold. As we move through January, additional records may fall as this relentless winter pattern continues. Stay tuned to SkyAlert USA for continuous updates on these dangerous and rapidly evolving weather situations. Make sure you have multiple ways to receive weather warnings, including weather radio, smartphone apps, and local media. Winter 2026 is proving to be one for the history books, and we are here to keep you informed and safe every step of the way. This is SkyAlert USA, your trusted source for severe weather coverage across North America. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you in our next update.